I'm not going to lie, Broncos country, this is not the video that I was expecting to make today. But the situation with Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals just continues to get uglier and uglier. The star edge rusher spoke to the media today for about 20 minutes, and he made it clear he is not going to play on his current contract. The Bengals have been lowballing him from the beginning of the negotiation process. They want him to take a team-friendly deal like he did in 2022 and basically kick the can down the road for another 2 years. The problem with that is the Bengals never surrounded Hendrickson with the pieces on the defensive side of the ball that he needed to be successful. So now Hendrickson is telling the Bengals, we're not doing this anymore. You either need to pay me or trade me. Crap or get off the pot. And if the Bengals do decide to trade him, could the Denver Broncos be a destination for him? I'm seeing outlets on Twitter such as Sleeper Broncos broach that idea with Broncos country, and I think there are more people in Broncos country that are endorsive of it than there should be. A lot of people in Broncos country think that this doesn't make any sense, which I wholeheartedly agree with. I'll talk about that in a second, but I'm seeing people say, yeah, absolutely they should trade for Trey Hendrickson. We'd be unstoppable. We'd be a Super Bowl team. I'm here to really address those particular fans that are in that group because I don't think that that would be the case at all for multiple reasons. The first one is pretty obvious. Your edge rusher room is loaded right now. You've got Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper as your two starters. Those guys are emerging stars at the position. You've got Jonah Ellis, who's a phenomenal rotational edge rusher, along with Dondre Tillman, who really came into his own last year. The Broncos added another body to that room this offseason in Q Robinson. Savion Jones, even though it says edge rusher, he's more of an interior defensive line in this scheme. It said edge when they drafted him, but he's going to play on the interior behind John Franklin Myers and Zach Allen. But honestly, I don't think the Broncos are going to make any changes whatsoever to this edge rush room. I don't think they're going to make any additions. But if they were to make an addition, I think that a guy like Von Miller could make a lot more sense because he fits this scheme. That is another reason why Trey Hendrickson doesn't make sense for the Denver Broncos. Hendrickson is more of a 4-3 edge rusher. That's what he was drafted to be in New Orleans, and that's what he continued to be in Cincinnati. The difference is a 4-3 edge rusher puts their hand in the dirt, they line up in a 3-point stance and rush from a 3-point stance off the edge. A 3-4 edge rusher, which is the scheme that the Broncos run, they stand up with 2 feet on the ground, no hands in the dirt, and they rush from a wide stance. Von Miller is one of the best at rushing from a wide stance, which is called 9 technique in the NFL. Von Miller is one of the best 9 tech rushers in the NFL, and the Broncos, they rush predominantly from 9 technique off the edge. Trey Hendrickson just does not fit that mold. Another problem is you're already trying to figure out how to pay Nick Bonito. You're trying to figure out how to pay Zach Allen. You're trying to figure out how to pay Cortland Sutton offensively. One of these guys is probably going to be the odd man out. And I've seen some on Twitter say, well, what if Trey Hendrickson is better than Nick Bonito? You're trading draft capital to get Trey Hendrickson, and then you still have to pay him. At that rate, just pay Nick Bonito and keep your draft capital. I don't understand why we're even having this conversation, but again, I'm seeing fans on Twitter that are saying, yeah, trade for Trey Hendrickson. Trade for Trey Hendrickson. No, it just makes zero sense from a schematic perspective, from a financial perspective, and from a team building perspective, taking away a locker room favorite in Nick Bonito. I'm sorry, man. Even thinking about this just gives me an absolute headache, and it makes me kind of confused as to why we're having this conversation. But again, I see it on Twitter. I talk about it here on this channel. That's what we do, even if I think it's kind of a stupid idea, quite frankly. So, yeah, that's my opinion on this. I do not think the Denver Broncos should trade for Trey Hendrickson. It makes no sense whatsoever. You're trying to already pay one of your edge rushers. Why would you trade for a guy who's pissed off with the Bengals because he wants to get paid? Alright guys, be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support, helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.